Oh, hello. Welcome to my channel. Hi, I am Super Dylan. If you are new here or are just joining us, I am an RPG creator and a actual play performer. And sometimes here I do a lot of playing narrative RPGs, cozy games, and the occasional actual play. I am super jazzed to be streaming today. We're going to be playing GODKILLER, the First Blood edition, which is a recent release by Connie Chang, who you have seen on this channel before. And if you're somehow not aware of Connie, course correct. Fix yourself. But Connie has just dropped an absolute banger of a two-person RPG called GODKILLER. It uses the powered by the Apocalypse system, so it's a 2d6 dice-based system, but it is wholly original. And I am very excited. We get to play this game today. I will be the gods / the GM of this game, and Dare will be our god killer. Dare, it's been a while since you've been on this channel. Can you tell everybody how amazing you are, how wonderful you are, and where people can find you?
That's so many nice things. But hi, I'm Dare, pronoun she, they, they. I am the internet's resident trans femme disaster. Uh, and I don't, yeah, there we go. It's me.
I was like, why did that
Yeah. Yeah,
not
I
work?
make and do way too many things in way too many places. I am, I guess, a two-time Emmy Award nominated
I
writer and
guess.
performer for Transplant RPG, and then for some of my own writing work. So yeah, I'm still letting that one wash over me, but I'm really glad to be here, and I'm glad to be the courier.
The courier. I am also so glad for those things. The last time that Dare was here, we played her game When the Sun Dies, which I still recommend to literally everyone who has a heart and is mortal. I think that if you are both of those things, you should play that game. Please check out Dare's Itch. But Dare, do you want to play a little? Do you want to play a little God Killer? Do you want to
I
kill some
need to. This
gods? You
this is a
need
need
to.
at this point.
Okay. Well, in that case, hi C, you delight. Um. Okay. In the world, people die. People live. People lose and win, and it almost always feels as if by accident. Today, in a cold and calculated room, a big round table with these polished bodies sat around it. They discuss a crisis, what to do, and how to cover up the death of one of the board members. A man with an ever present, perfect stubble, somehow never needing to shave or trim, but just always the perfect amount. and frosted tips in his hair, steps forward to the front of the room and looks to the rest of the circle. Well, we don't want to panic. So, let's not panic. The whiteboard that they were pointing to glitches to a video feed of the courier. Courier, at work, hard at work as always. What does your usual routine look like?
I think it starts early. I think the first thing, probably as the sun rises,
Mm,
the courier steps up and gets ready. They're form mostly obscured by like very baggy clothes and a large flowing cloak sort of
mm,
wraps around a lot of them. So like their only features that you see present are like their arms, which are like brown skin, covered with tattoos,
mm.
and their eyes, which are, of course, the Dare character, purple, uh, only wearing a mask and the cloak having a bit of a hood to it as well. So the sort of almost formless figure, only eyes and arms seen, begins to walk. And I think they move quicker than the average person. I think
Mm.
that soft, subtle showing of maybe something different around about this person is as they move through the city, I think accompanied by like their one companion, a bird, a very large bird that
Mm.
takes some of their packages and sort of drops them off at the doors of people. Does not say much. It lets out one of the occasional like little noise, and almost as if reaching a point of wordless communication, they understand each other. The bird will go fly back off again to deliver another package.
As your bird is delivering packages to the unanswered doors, there are a few neighbors who run out to grab what you're delivering. Uh, Usually, mostly in the excitement of what they're receiving, but they do wave. They do notice you a little. Um, but the focus really is as they run down to the drive to greet you. It's excitement for what's in your hands that overtakes them as they meet you. And a woman um, in a wraparound cardigan is one of the first to rush down the driveway, waving excitedly at your presence, and rushes down to greet you. Hi, thanks.
Yeah. Um, Here's your package, I suppose.
Thanks. Oh, I was so worried I was gonna miss you because I'm gonna be out of town for the next couple weeks, and I don't know what I would do if I missed this package because truth be told, it's got the plugs for my chargers, and I can't go overseas without that. So I'm just really glad it showed up in time. You showed up in time. Thank you so much for that.
Yeah, it's just my job.
Right. Got. Yeah. Absolutely. Of course. Okay. Well, I won't keep you. Have a good rest of your day.
You too. Safe travels.
Okay. All right. And she's already tearing into the package as she is walking back up the driveway, eyes down onto it as she walks through the door. Several houses down, more of this, your bird hopping door to door, you catching the people who answer. You come to a house that has no mail slot. You've been here before. The resident here usually prefers to get their mail around the back.
Yeah. I think I just almost simply walk around with no real show of it. It's a day like any other.
Absolutely. And when you go around the back this time, um, normally the packages are left on the back porch. The back porch is destroyed this time. The yard looks a wreck, and it takes a few moments for your eyes to register the source of all of the smoke. A steaming pile with a figure in the center. Back
Think
behind.
I think I immediately move over to the figure to sort of check and see like what is the status of this creature.
The figure is a feminine, feminine-esque human with longer curly hair, a sort of medium toned skin, and a assortment of piercings and colorful clothes that are now singed around the edges. They're not someone you recognize, but they have a familiar feeling to them, like almost something within you wants to laugh, not at the situation, but at the sight of her. And for a moment, her eyes flutter open just for a second.
Are, are you okay?
No. No. That's bad. Oh, that's bad.
But what's bad? And I think I find myself inexplicably chuckling a little bit at this creature as well.
It's just so sad. The absurdity of them. I mean, to kill comedy. Well, truthfully, this would have made great content. And she starts to laugh, and the laugh like turns to a cough that starts to sputter and wheeze, and her eyes flutter closed again as that light underneath her skin starts to fade. It isn't long before you're left here, quiet with the knowledge that this was comedy.
Okay, that's not good. That's not good. That's not. I think I immediately go knock on the door of the person I'm supposed to deliver the package for.
Yes. And the old man takes a while to answer. He's a little bit of a recluse. This is not usual. There's a reason he likes his packages left on the back porch. But he does poke the door open Yeah.
Um, I have a package for you, but first, did you know about anyone in your backyard?
There should be no one in my backyard. I mean, you're allowed if you've got my
Well,
package, but
yeah. Well, oh, okay. And I just hand him the package. Um, I don't know how to tell you this. You know comedy, right? Like not, but like conceptually.
I've heard of it. I try to avoid it.
Well, that can't necessarily be done. Comedy, I look at your backyard. I just sort of step to the side.
Oh. I don't know her. She didn't. I was inside all day. I've been working on a birdhouse.
I I mean, I certainly want to believe you, and I will, but a god just died in your backyard, and I don't think people are going to be too happy about that.
Uh, I don't deal too much with people. But I didn't kill her. So what do you think happened?
I think the silence falls on them for a decent amount of time. Who's to say? I thought the gods couldn't die.
I assume we all die. Um but hey, if that one died, maybe they all can, and we'll finally be free. But, well, won't matter much to me. So I'll still be inside this house. Um, looks to your bird. What does your bird look like?
I think it is definitely way bigger than a messenger bird should be. I think it is a
Yeah,
bird of prey. I
I
think this
am.
is like a hawk
Yeah, I
that
was
is
imagining a bird
also
of
just
prey.
happens to choose to deliver papers or delivered like packages for me.
What kind of? How'd you trap a thing like that?
Didn't trap it. Came along with me.
Huh?
Yeah.
Well, we don't get ones like that around too often, so
I
that's a find.
a little bit further away, traditionally.
Oh. Well, that's good for you. Well, you know, your bird is more than welcome to visit. Um, but I'm not used to having company this long. Do you plan on doing anything with, and he points at the corpse in the middle of his own backyard.
I don't know what to do with it. I'll figure out something, I guess. I mean, this isn't really my job description either.
Yeah. See, that's the risk of going outside. You always find things you didn't plan to find. And then you have to react accordingly.
Well, I will let you enjoy. Hopefully, no one comes knocking with any questions about this.
If they do, my story stays the same. I never saw her.
And I think I just sort of nod and step back and head back towards the corpse.
Okay.
And I want to pray for guidance.
Excellent. Is there a god in particular you are praying to guidance from? Or
Uh,
is this more general?
I think this is general to any sort of God who offers, I think, advice or like advice when it comes to travel or decision making.
Mm,
Because I think my initial thought is, do I take this to the temple of comedy, or do I take this to like the to a place for the devout? So it's
mm.
not just in a yard.
What does praying look like for the courier?
I think this like the courier almost takes one knee and has a few like I think it's like some the equivalent of a dandelion or something like that that like utters a soft prayer and throws it in the air and lets the wind carry it off, hoping that it'll land somewhere.
The it floats away on air till it's out of distance. And there is a strong and lengthy moment of silence before all of a sudden a breeze that hits so suddenly that it almost catches your breath away as it hits your face, your hair whistles through your clothes, and you hear a calm, kind of tranquil voice and feel a soft hand on your shoulder. There is no hand there if you look, but you feel its imprint so distinctly as this sort of not feminine, deep and soft voice in your ear is heard to say, I heard you.
Thank you. Um, what do I do in a situation like this?
There has not been a situation like this. This is unprecedented. I'm so sorry.
Sorry sounds like you don't have any help for me.
I have advice. It's just that none of it is good.
I don't have any answers, so even a bad one's still something.
A board member dying. A god dying is not something that they usually do. When they wanted art out of entertainment, they didn't kill me. They just locked me out. So why kill comedy?
Maybe a new something.
Maybe. My advice Don't waste your time with a ritual. Find out why instead.
Thank you. Who are you?
Art, it's lovely to meet you.
Same. Okay.
Thanks for calling out. It's been a while.
Thank you for anything you were able to provide. I should probably get moving.
Be brave. And they kind of, you pull their hand back. You feel that weight on your shoulder lift. When the presence comes back, you feel them wrap around your shoulder and in the place where their hand would be. You see a pen appear as if being held. A fountain pen.
I think I reach for it and just hold on to it for a second.
As you do, the grip on it lets go and it falls nicely into your hand. Just something to help.
Thank you. I think I tuck it into like a chest pocket.
Hmm.
And then go over to the corpse of comedy one more time. And I think I will still give it like some sort of respect, even if it's just making sure like the eyes are closed and it's laying comfortably.
Yeah. Um, you make those adjustments. Um, it looks as cozy as it can before you walk away. And almost in like a sped up way, you can see like leaves and vines and things beginning to overtake.
I think the thing, I can't just go back to work after this. I think I give my bird the rest of my packages. I think I literally leave and I just sort of leave them with the bird and just look at them. I think I call the bird the hunter. I think for reasons, the courier avoids any formal names.
Mm. Mm-hmm.
I think the courier looks at the hunter and says, I should hopefully be back. If not, you're free.
Stern. You know the way birds of prey do. One eye, like cocking its head. Almost curious, almost as if the bird is digesting such a concept. And then snaps out of it, looks down at the nearest package, grabs it by the twine, and takes off to deliver.
Right. Well, that should be good for the rest of the day. I suppose I need to find the temple of one of the other gods and have a conversation. And yeah, I think that is my initial idea is trying to go find either a temple or find someone who I could talk to about the right direction.
Perfect. Um, I think that, and tell me if you have a different idea, but I think that probably the most closely associated God with comedy is drama. They are the pair, they are the dichotomy. They have long been associated with each other. Um, and their temples are not terribly too far away from one another. That would be a first good guess, but if you are drawn to something else, I would love to hear it.
No, I think that makes sense.
Okay, perfect. The temple is very much like the image of old. The two temples adjoined side by side, comedies being loud, boisterous, um, and and full of color, and dramas being a little bit more stoic in its appearance, little muted and darker colors, um, and with less adornments on the outside. The comedy's windows are already shuttered. There is no one able to enter the temple at this time. Drama's doors, however, are open.
I think if I see anyone around comedies, I think the courier will go and tell them there's no use as simply and as curtly as they can.
There is a young man outside the door, knocking every few seconds when you approach him.
I hate to tell you, that's not going to work.
It has to.
I'm sorry it can't. I just trust me.
How do you cope if it's not funny?
Keep moving.
The reality of that seems to wash a paleness over his face. Keep moving. Okay. He starts to walk, hanging his head a little.
I think there is a small moment where the courier doesn't say anything, but I think there is a look they give of understanding. This is the closest that they could probably bond with this person. Just this look that lets you know you're not alone in these feelings. But then they keep making their way over to the Temple of Drama.
Inside the Temple of Drama, emotions are high. Uh, People pray to drama with big shows, displays. People are fighting openly, screaming at each other. There is a couple literally in as you walk in about to flick the wine glass into their partner's face. There is a young woman openly weeping dramatically with the big, driest heaves you've ever heard. The height of all emotional expression everything except laughter is loud in this room.
I think the courier almost like pulls their like mask up to cover as much of their face as possible.
Like
I think
stretching it out. Like,
yes.
yeah.
I think like the only thing once again, those eyes are still slightly seen as to try to if they could almost cover up the emotionality of it all
Mm.
as they make their way, I think, to the end of the temple and see if there's any like specific like priest or any specific like deliverance of drama.
Up at the top at the temple, right beside the drama version of the mask, the comedy and drama masks that hang on the wall, the right under the temple is a spot meant for sacrifices, things that people can give up to get what they are looking for.
I think the courier stops. I've already given enough. I don't want to have to give more. And I think there's a moment of
Mm.
almost like heightened emotion from the courier as they sort of look lost for a second before they catch themselves. No, that I don't have much, but and I think they give
Mm.
like I think just a bag of their like earnings for like the month.
There is, as you turn after dropping that off, just out of the corner of your eye, a dark, slender shadow of a masculine appearing person who is draped across two chairs in the wings of the stage of this platform that you're standing on. A hat kind of dipped over his eyes that he does not bother drawing to you as he says, "That's all."
I don't have a lot left. Keep it simple.
It's pretty sad, don't you think?
I want it.
Well, if that's all you've got, then that's a pretty hefty donation. So I suppose I should thank you.
Of course. I just need an audience.
With me.
Near drama, correct?
It's what they call me.
Well, I happened to find your twin today.
Oh, and how is she? We're between speaking periods at the moment.
Well, considering her temple is shuttered, you can make a guess.
I just. And he sits up, flicks his hat open, and kneels on his own thighs. I just thought she was angry.
Found her myself. I was making delivery, ran into her.
You're not serious. That's not possible. No.
Do I have the ability to make a joke right now?
You can try.
And like even trying to offer up a mockery of a chuckle can't leave the courier's lips. I'm sorry.
What do you mean you're sorry? And he moves towards you, puts like an arm up against you, shoulder to shoulder. What do you mean you're sorry? Are you responsible?
I'm not. I just stumbled upon her. She was already laying smoldering in a backyard of an old man who doesn't leave his house. I
And the
don't
old
know what
man,
happened.
he did it?
No, didn't even know. What do I gain from lying to you?
What do you gain from lying to me? Power?
I don't want anything.
Notoriety?
No, I don't. I don't even have a name. I am just a courier.
The courier. Yeah, I've heard of you.
Why have you heard of me? I've never done business with you.
We watch everything. We look for potential everywhere. Always seeking a good story. This is the makings of one written all over it. You kill comedy and you. What? Take her place? You couldn't.
I don't want to. And I think in this heightened like room of emotionality, everything the courier is saying is coming across far harsher as well.
Mm.
Why would I?
Why wouldn't you? Who wouldn't want what we have?
Why don't you listen? I don't want your sister's job. I don't want yours. I don't want to be involved with your boardroom. I want to just simply go back to delivering packages.
Ugh, of course. Of course you do. Well, if she's gone, and you found her, and you saw her,
I was there with her for her last moments.
what did she say?
I started laughing. She said it's funny. She didn't really say what I think was on her mind. Mostly the absurdity of being killed.
So she was killed. It wasn't you, but somebody killed her.
But I'd assume, yes. I'm trying to find anyone who might know something, slash make sure I'm not on some invisible list to be killed for this crime.
You're not on an invisible list. You're on a very, very visible list, courier.
That's worse.
Yeah. You know, the board, they've had their eyes on you.
Why?
You and your bird and
I'm nobody. I specifically want to be nobody.
that's great and all. What does the wind feel like?
I think I've like almost instinctively put my hand out just to see if there's any air really flowing in this room. Is there?
Even though you are entirely indoors, as soon as your hand sticks out, a breeze washes over your fingertips.
Hmm. Light breeze.
Yeah. I keep the air off in here. It's heat is better at drawing out that raw emotion, than the cool is.
Hmm. Oh, I just the winds always looked upon me favorably.
Yeah.
Lucky.
Well, just so you know, it doesn't usually do that. The board members noticed. And they thought, I guess, that you were pretty unsuspecting. God, one of them is behind this.
And are you sure it's not you? I'm not saying I don't believe you. I'm just saying it would be a story.
Yeah, it would be. And who knows? If framing you falls through, they may go to me next.
Well,
I
do
hate
I
my sister, Courier. Because that is my right. It doesn't mean I don't love her.
I'll find out who did this. Hopefully I don't get smited along the way.
You probably will. But,
Thanks for the vote of confidence.
what else have I got?
And I think like the courier sort of lets the wind fall through their fingertips again. Okay. Anyone you'd suggest I talk to or avoid?
The board members. It's one of them.
Okay.
Try to catch them outside the boardroom. It's it's more dangerous inside when they're together. Your best bet is to find them apart.
Okay. I'll do what I can. Don't try to smite me the second I walk away from you, please. I don't want to. I don't want to be involved in any of this.
I want revenge more than I want a tiny arc where I destroy you. So I'm going for the long arc here.
Okay. I think it's that the courier almost rushes out of this temple and like just almost shakes out all of the heightened feelings of it all. Okay. Okay. Interacted with three gods today. Great. This is going so good. I think I'm going to I'm gonna go head back and make sure the old man's house is still okay. I am worried about the old man, especially if the idea of I've been watched.
Mm. When you head back, the scene is different. The old man's house is absolutely still intact, but has been roped off with caution tape. Drones that are investigating the scene even peering just through the yard, you can see that the vines have overgrown the site of Comedy's demise. The old man sits out on the porch, and as you approach, you see him point a finger. The drones turn, the people turn, the cameras turn, the noise and the news comes to a lull for a second. That's them. The courier.
I think I instinctively like take a few steps back. I don't suppose this is just for a polite interview, is it?
As soon as you take a step back, see? They're getting away. And like the sirens and upset starts to uproar as clearly in the moments you've been gone, a narrative has been created that this was your doing.
Okay. I think it's this. I think I'm going to act impulsively.
What would you like to do to act impulsively?
There's at least one drone flying at me, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think as the courier, I think I keep like a series of knives as like just a weapon just in case.
Mm.
I think they're like small and quick, and I think almost instinctively pulls one and just throws it right at dead center in one of the drones.
You hit dead center in one of the drones. Simultaneously, you see another one of those drones as it is flying towards you, capturing your image right before a as your bird's talons just pierce through the glass and knock it completely out of the sky. The bird draws attention away from you and towards it. You have a few seconds with which you could get away from this crowd.
Hmm. I think I think I might try to use a little divinity. I
What are you going
think
to do?
I think I'm going to inflict violence, and it is not awakened, so it is potentially going to act up. I think I am just going to try to cause almost a like wind tunnel effect
Mm.
to knock like any of the drones just out of the sky, and to like just kind of push everything over by my.
Perfect.
I think I'm more concerned with my bird getting away free than me in this exact moment because I know I have higher confidence in myself.
All right, 2d6. Let me know what you get.
Okay. Uh, can I get a +1 for this being personal?
Yes, this is absolutely personal.
Okay. That is a 8.
Perfect. This ends on your terms. The wind exceeding from your hand towards whatever target you choose. What happens to that drone or drones as the wind brushes over your hands and whooshes forward?
Think in like the first time of using this actively and with intent. I think
Mm.
it is almost like I moved my hands at them and almost from the side, a overpowering just sheer force of wind just almost slams him into the ground and has him like drag and hit the ground hard.
They drag and hit the ground, crashing actually at the reporter's feet, who is forced to jump back, dropping their own camera, and even kind of hopping away for a moment. You're convinced that the footage of you is safe. And you still have bought yourself even a little more time.
Now, if we want to talk about any of this, I just showed up and the body was there. I think I say at the reporter.
Mm. Is that the way you want to play this? A sly voice behind you says.
I think I turn and face the boys. Which one are you now?
A uncanny wide smile perfectly implanted on this face. You recognize this one. This is the one you've seen before. This is PR. I'm just wondering if this is the way you want to play this. I mean, antagonizing a news crew in broad daylight? I think there are better ways.
What do you want?
Well, I was hoping I could get you to cooperate. Because it's just that this isn't the plan. We didn't want you to necessarily have to take the fall, but you're ramping things up quite a bit. And maybe, they might have to let you go down with the whole ship. I wouldn't want that. I know how much you value your solitude.
I don't, forgive me if I don't trust you, but we've known each other long enough to know that I shouldn't. I'm just someone who stumbled into this, and I was promised a long time ago that I would have my peace.
That's a good tactic. You just found it this way. It was here when you bought the place. That's not mine. I'm carrying it for a friend. You have all the tactics right up here, and that's why I like you. It's just that in this case, with so many people around, it's going to be hard to spin that. And I'm not sure we want to spin that.
I think I just stare and then back down. Was this you? Or you at least know who did it, don't you?
Oh my God. Do I'm not an information guy. I don't have the answers. I do have spin. I have our response, and our response is that you did this. How well that goes is up to how well you feel like cooperating. It
What
could
do you
be an
need me to do?
it could be an accident. You didn't mean to. Of course,
You,
she went off the rails, mocking the gods and our way of life, and you just had to. A crime of passion, they'll call it. Easy.
I'm not going to be your puppet. I'm not going to tell your story the way you want me to.
Oh, terrible news. For you. I mean, because then, we could just paint you as a monster. Unhinged assailant. Takes out one of the most beloved gods.
How do you rank on the scale of beloved? I'm curious.
Well, it's not the people that love me, but the people I represent. They could not survive without me. I think I'm pretty loved, in my own way.
So you're saying this would send a message, and I'm going to inflict violence once again.
Yes! Okay, please tell me how you are inflicting violence on
I think
PR.
I am throwing more of these knives and using the wind to push them faster and further.
Excellent. I will say they wish you harm and it is personal. So
Okay.
add 2 to your 2d6 roll for this one.
Well, I'm so scared about overkills. I'm terrified about overkills. Okay. See. You said +2, correct?
Yes.
It's a 6. Mm-hmm.
It's a 6,
Mm-hmm.
even with the +2. The Actually, I would like to ask your input as the
Mm-hmm.
knives do like get propelled by the wind behind you. What is it that fails? What causes the knives not to hit?
I think they just can't go. I don't think the wind is pushing straight. I think it was more of like a tornado, and
It's
it just starts
oh,
throwing them in every direction.
yes, it is a representation accurately of the emotional state that this person and what they are saying has put you in, as the wind is trying to reflect what you want but instead reflects how you feel and swirls these knives around. And now, what was that supposed to do?
I, I can't just go and listen to what you need me to do. I have a life. It's a quiet one, but it's mine. I'm not I'm not going to be your fall guy. I'm not going to tell your story. I'm not letting you take me.
Okay. That's cute. How much choice you think you have in this? Um, Here's how I'll spell it out. You have a few choices. You can um, take my advice and have this go smoother in terms of your reputation. You'll, of course, still be framed for this. You'll face the consequences, but we'll make sure you get you something nice, out of it. Maybe your time is spent at a nice resort where you have to wait out the consequences in solitude just like you like. What about that? I mean, if you don't.
I I can't do that. I can't do that. I can't let you dictate my life any further.
I have to come back to your use of language. You say things like let you, and that hurts me because you cannot let me do anything. That would imply that you could prevent me from doing things, and you cannot. I'm just offering you some options, a way out of a bad situation, just like I have before. I mean, you remember they wanted you to be a star. You could have had your name in lights and you said no, and did I fight you on that? Did I disrespect you in the way that you just did with the knives and the wind and all of that showy nonsense? No, I advocated for you. I said no. Let the courier be in the shadows the way that they want to be. I took heat for that. They came down on me hard.
Still sounds like you got a star out of this. Seems like you just delayed your win. Because look where I'm at.
I know. It's great. The showrunner's going to love this. The underdog, the reluctant hero, now a villain. I mean, I am your advocate, but let's be real. That's a draw. That's a good story. I almost don't want to fight them on that.
I'm going to act impulsively again.
What are you going to do this time?
I think I'm not going to rely on divinity. I'm just going to simply punch PR in the face. I think while they've been monologuing, I'm just going to charge, sock them one, and run.
I will allow you to not only keep the 2+2s from before because the situation has not changed, but because you have tried before and failed, if you want to add the third for you're desperate, you can.
Okay. Oh boy. Oh
What?
no.
What?
Oh, it's a 10.
It's a 10.
It is an 11 actually. So yeah, I think the intent was a normal punch.
Mm.
I think this is when the divinity actually kicks in
Mm.
and like shoots me like a rocket at
Mm-hmm.
PR.
PR did not expect this, and that is extremely clear. When your fist hits them, the look of utter shock wipes away for the first time ever that you have seen the plastered, bright grin that adorns their face at all times. For the first time ever, you see it shrink into a wide O shape as the wind is knocked out of them and they fall back. They fall back onto the ground and do not get up. They look stunned at you in fear, shock, trying to scramble to come up with a explanation, cause, anything.
Didn't expect that.
No. No, I did not expect that, but you, you, could, what a brave person you are, standing up for yourself like that, and we could use that. The gods, certainly could spin that in the boardroom as 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 an underdog story. We could do an underdog story for you. What do you think about that?
I thought I was just your monster a second ago. I
You
think I step closer.
you are their monster, not mine. Not mine. I want you to succeed. I want you to thrive. I'm in your corner. They're the ones. They want you to fail. They're the ones that want you to be the monster, and I'm just here to sell it to you, like I always do. You know, I'm just a salesman, a courier. Come on, that's what I've always been.
Yeah. And I sold you my name and my anonymity. And even then, you couldn't keep this one deal. How can I trust a thing you're going to tell me?
Deals change, deals evolve.
You're
You know,
right.
yeah, yeah. Of course. I mean, it's been years, and here you are, and here this situation is. I mean, it's their plan, and I just want you to get the best out of it.
I look behind me to see if there's cameras still on all of this.
They are. In abject silence, everyone is pointed at this scene.
I think no matter what I do now, I'm kind of stuck. You get my predicament, right? I am stuck as the monster of your little story. I don't think no matter how much you could sell it, you could make it sound like I wasn't just pushed to the limit real quick.
Yeah, yeah, but by a monstrous corporate, sucker. I'm the bad one, obviously, and I pushed you to your limits. You could never have made a good choice under these circumstances, um, but now you can walk it back. We can walk this back.
I don't I actually don't think there's a going back from this. And I think I am going to should I just abjectly try to kill the god?
I think this is as good a time as any to kill your first god.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
The
you're right. Roll 2d6 and see how this goes. Oh my,
What did you
that
do?
was a 12. That was a perfect 12.
Okay. As you say that there's no way out, there's no way back. The face that once held that plastered smile that then shrinks into that exasperated O glitches back. You see it disappear, and a human face shaped teleprompter with scripted lines running and running and running appears. All of the dialogue that you've shared for the last 10 minutes, all of their side of it is just running on this loop, and you see it feeding in even as they stop speaking. How do you kill them?
I think it is almost almost ironically a like closer to a crime of passion. I think it is just the knife that I just picked up one of the knives that are on the ground from the wind attack and just plunge it into their chest. And I think there's like a moment of It didn't have to be like this.
It didn't have to be like this. We can recover from this, is the last thing that escapes their mouth, and you see the teleprompter words of the same come across the screen underneath their face as that then sputters and goes dark, revealing just a green, the dark green of an empty, unprojected screen. They go limp and dark, and the crowd behind begins to murmur like, did the courier just kill another god? No, that god basically asked them to, was like bullying them to. I mean, no. I mean, but they still didn't have to do it. Also, who can do that? And there's arguments and debate starting to rip through the crowd as people are no longer focused on catching you or filming you, more trying to reckon with what they just saw.
I think even the couriers sort of looking at their own hands of they didn't know that would do really anything if it was going to do anything. And I think they just sort of contend with it for a second and look back at the crowd, almost shaking a little as they stand.
Mm.
Please understand that comedy did not die by my hand. PR did, but not comedy. And
And I will give you, if you want it, PR's power, Silver
yes,
Tongue. If you would like to use it, you are able.
I would love to. Please, let's not overkill again. Good, only an 8.
Perfect. You hear, although there are some voices that still seem skeptical, the voices that were saying, no, that God was egging the courier on. They were practically begging them to. I can't understand how she didn't do it sooner. Like there's a that side of the murmurs starts to win after you say that. You hear that side grow louder and the skepticism start to take the defensive and lull. And the people start to say, turn those damn cameras off. What are you filming right now?
Before you turn off the cameras. And I think I go to like one of them.
Okay.
I want you to understand if there's any board member listening to this, all I want to know is who killed comedy. This doesn't have to happen. I didn't even mean to do what I did to PR. But now we know what I can do, and I know what you can do. Maybe we have to resolve this peacefully.
The camera person holding the camera you're speaking to directly rolls tape, nods in agreement. Over the shoulder they're holding the camera on, you even hear them say, "We all saw it." and the camera rolls, records, and they click it off in just the moment before the camera is dipped under their shoulder in just the tiny distorted reflection of the black lens of the camera. You see a woman's reflection looking quizzically for just a second, and then it's gone.
I think that means they know I know. I look at the old man who caused all of this, and I just shake my head. I don't step near him. I think, give him a look of disappointment and shake my head as I try to leave this area.
Shrugs. Goes inside. He just wanted to be left alone.
I think there's almost this sort of antsy waiting for the courier as they walk, kind of expecting something out of the ordinary to happen. As I think they make their way back to drama. I think drama has to have known what happened. I think they start walking their way back to that temple.
Yeah. This time, when you approach the Temple of Drama, the temple is empty. No one is here to worship. No one is here to expend all emotion. It is an empty room with empty pews and a dark, echoing silence within. In the center is Drama, hanging in a dark, otherwise dark room with his leaning over, hands, arms on his thighs, bottle of whiskey in his hand, hunched over in a chair in the center of the room, one dangling spotlight that swings just over him, illuminating only him in this otherwise dark and empty, cold room.
Don't know how fast word travels to you. PR's dead.
Yeah.
This god actually did kill.
That's good.
New trick. Didn't know I could do that.
Well, congratulations on your new discovery. BR really kept me in line, you know?
Yeah?
Oh, yeah. Too dark. Not suitable for a teen audience. Do you really want to kill all those characters? All kinds of things, you know?
Yeah.
That PR used to say, and you know what? I got nothing left now. No one holding me back, and no one making me laugh. So, why are you here, courier? What can I do for you? I don't suppose you want a drink?
I'm good right now. Need to stay sharp for any of the other ones.
Oh, yeah, the other ones.
Did any of you know I could do this to gods?
Yeah.
Is this why I was watched?
Oh, that's not why you were watched. We didn't think anybody could do that to gods. Well, that at first. But, yeah. There were murmurs. You know how the wind just sort of does things for you? That's a thing a lot of people wish was true. Wishful thinking is that the weather is reflecting your emotions, that it's mirroring how you feel. And it's actually true for you. You special little courier, you. The weather actually does give a shit, apparently, about your emotions and how you're doing and how you're feeling. And that's a thing that's supposed to be reserved for us. But, apparently it's not. And I just thought that would be some good storytelling, but everyone else had other thoughts. Oh, they could become one of us. We should get them on track. We should hook them up with a demigod. All kinds of debate went on in that damn room. But one person thought that it would be possible that you could kill God. And funny enough, we didn't listen to her.
Zombie.
Yeah. She said you could years ago. I mean, she said it in the way with the joking tone. Sounded like sarcasm a little bit, like, what if? What if they could kill us all? I know you
Wow.
didn't kill her.
You're safe too, by the way. I don't want to necessarily have to kill anyone, but I feel like some probably aren't going to listen. Especially it sounds like it makes for good storytelling.
You gotta. You gotta take the showrunner.
Yeah. Well, I wish you a successful grieving.
It's going great so far.
I'll avenge your sister, and I think I make my way out.
Good. And as you leave, in a dramatic camera pan back that the courier doesn't see, the light over top of the god of drama flickers and goes out as he continues to drink. Really soaking up the drama.
I think making my way. I think I want to make my way towards the boardroom.
Mm,
I don't want to actually go in, but I want to start walking that way.
sure. It is a known place. It is an unvisited place, but it is known. It's not, the area surrounding it has become an unofficial temple to the gods of media as a whole. There are gods, there are supporters and protesters alike in this space. all of them worshiping it by paying all of their attention to this building full of the people that drive the plot lines of all of our lives. They fight, argue, adore, fawn, admonish in large numbers. The building itself is shiny chrome with indistinct sequential windows that are so symmetric, it's almost uncanny. The building is huge. The boardroom, as you know and can infer, is on the top floor. There are a lot of people you may meet along the way up, should you choose to. There are people outside. There is an elevator that can take you right to the top. But you have a lot of options right now before reaching the boardroom.
I think I'm going to look outside and sort of see how outside is, namely as I make my way up and see if how everyone's reacting to me.
Outside, it is like the sky looks right before it's about to storm. There is a gray tone to the sky. Clouds cover. They all look full. But nothing has started yet. There is a calm to the skies at this moment. As far as the crowd, when people start to notice you approach, it's slow at first. One person, a little kid even, tugs on their parent's sleeve. Is that? Don't look, don't draw attention. But as it spreads, that is the courier. That's them. That's fair, the courier. And people begin to turn heads and whisper more. They're here. Wait, what? Oh my God. Oh, they are actually doing it. That's what. And
I think I make eye contact with some of the people as they whisper. But the courier, I don't know, is used to a degree of this solitude. And I think all they say is, I don't want this to come to violence. I understand you don't have to believe that, but take me at my word. That's all I have. I think they step in the front door without really just sort of addressing the crowd without looking.
Good. You say that, you walk in, you hear just the last bits of like, did you hear that? And like the murmurs ramp up. You can hear in volume as you step inside the doors. But as they close behind you, shh, silence. As you enter the cold, artificial air coursing over your skin this time, the corporate cold of an air-conditioned office building. So frigid, so crisp.
I think. Is there a receptionist or anything like that here?
There is. And despite everything, she sits at a very high desk, a few feet away from the entrance. Despite everything, still greets you with a hi. Welcome. Welcome to Media Incorporated. Would you like a pass? Are you here to visit? Are you here for one of our tours?
You don't know, you don't keep up with PR, do you?
Oh, PR. Well, we catch up at office parties. But yes, we're not allowed to access media during work hours. It's part of our productivity policy. We are here present in the moment, ready to serve you.
I would like a pass.
Absolutely. Can I get your name and pronouns so I can put that on your ID?
The courier.
The Courier. Wow. That is quite a name. Anything else I can add?
Tell the screenwriter I'm on the way.
Oh, oh, fancy. Just to ask, the screenwriter expects you, or is this?
Yes.
Oh, oh, interesting. I
You
don't
you
see.
haven't watched the news cycle. They're expecting me. Something happened not too long ago.
Okay. Just give me one moment. They like tear off the badge, the hi, my name is the courier badge that they hand to you. And they just press on an intercom. Hi, screenwriter. I'm so sorry. We have a guest. They say they're expected. The courier, I'm so sure you are expecting them, but in case you're not, they are on their way up to your waiting room right now. Thank you so much. And they lift their finger off the button and gesture to the elevator.
I will not take the elevator. I will take the stairs.
Ooh.
But I think I will open the elevator and have it go to the highest floors. I'm just gonna like hit a couple of the top buttons.
Like make it do a tour,
Yeah.
a roundabout of the whole building.
Yeah, I'm gonna take the long way up, just in case.
Mm, very smart. You take the stairs. It's it's a hefty way up. But you can see on the outside of each door on in the elevator is a directory list of where each person is. The screenwriter is in one of the floors directly under the boardroom, about 2 floors down. The screenwriter's office is. When you get there, uh, the hall is empty, pristine, doors marked clearly leading down. But as soon as the door closes behind you to the stairwell, you see the door at the far end of the corner fall open.
I think I begin to walk, and you can hear like the footfalls, like maintaining this very steady rhythm, not wanting to seem overeager or afraid. I think it is a deliberate stepping as they make their way through.
You step in, there is a mess in here. Papers strewn everywhere. A chalkboard, a whiteboard, a cork board with strings attaching different cards and events together in a chaotic pattern, and a kind of androgynous uh, looking person in a in the in the wiry sort of way of androgyny, very thin, like personifying anxiety in all ways, cups of coffee strewn about a desk. Oh, welcome. You were correct. I was expecting you. Glad you came. Welcome to the mess you've created.
I didn't do anything.
Like
I
hell.
I just stumbled upon comedy. Do you know who did it?
Who cares who did it? That was planned. This, you killing PR on camera, no less. That's oh, that's a hard one to write your way out of. They're gonna, you know what they're gonna say? They're gonna say,
Gods can die.
oh God, who cares? Sure, gods can die. The story is ruined. I mean, unless what? Do you want to be a big villain? Do you want to be a big hero? I don't know. How much fame would you say you want for the
I
rest of your
didn't
life?
I didn't want any fame.
Mm, well, you killed a god on TV. I have to
I was being
justify that.
implicated by a god beforehand.
Mm,
PR
yeah.
was trying to implicate me no matter what.
Yeah. Well, I mean, PR was trying to give you a way out. You know what? I'm not in his business. That's his business. I'm just trying to make this story make sense. And you're making it kind of difficult. I'm thinking, okay, what if you were framed? Double framing? You're framed for the death of PR while seeking out the killer of comedy. We could do like a real triple agent sort of thing. And the killer winds up being the old man the whole time. The old man not being the killer in the beginning was a red herring.
Just
I
tell
mean,
me
it's
who
not
killed
bad.
comedy. You already said it was planned, so who'd you have do it?
I didn't have anybody do it. This is all the showrunner's plans. Um, of course, what they say goes. I just have to make it make sense. And right now, you're not making sense, Courier.
I think it makes perfect sense. Just want to pay the showrunner a little visit. I just want answers, and then I want peace.
You don't get peace. We get a story. My story is gonna fit into this somehow. I don't care what happened to PR or comedy. This was never supposed to be lighthearted. I do care that it's good, though. So, what do you say? The old man was the killer all along?
Maybe I have a pitch. Let me sell you on something.
Okay.
I maybe it's a little bit of PR working its way through me. Story of a person who once longed for a life of peace. They find they can never return to their home the way they used to, so they go somewhere else. New name, new job, no identity. And even then, that person still isn't given the peace they wanted. And when their back is against the wall, they learn that they are much more powerful than they ever could have possibly thought. And now that person is going to get answers and going to fight with all they have to make sure everyone has a little bit more peace without people interfering or trying to write stories for them. Doesn't that sound pretty interesting?
I'll give you that. It's not bad. It's not terrible. It's just where's the climax? Where's the turning point? You know, I mean, in my version, the turning point is the reveal that the old guy is actually the killer all along, and maybe we turn you into a hero. You've got to contend with that. You've got to seek revenge on the old guy. I think that would work. That would work. I know you won't love it, but I mean, come on. What a twist.
I think maybe someone else could have a go at it. And then I'm going to act impulsively.
What are you going to do?
I think I'm just going to like I'm going to throw a knife non-lethally. I think as part of it being impulsive but not actually an act of divinity, I'm throwing it on the desk in front of them as a clear and open threat.
Okay. Um yeah. I would say for this one, um what are the hold on, what are the plus ones? I would say I think you do get a plus one in this case for let's see. Oh no, there's no plus. All right, so go ahead and let's see. What advantage do you seize? Um,
I think if you don't mind, I want to answer that one.
please.
And I think the advantage I see is I think I take the air like out of the room, like in a very like I'm taking the mic essentially of like you're going to listen to me now.
Okay, excellent. It actually, I think, will like manifest as a little bit of like the AC in the room, this like frigid breeze that is constantly coursing through this corporate environment cuts suddenly. That like noise that no one noticed was there, the constant air stop, and it stops and gives him pause. You have the mic.
So I don't want to necessarily have to kill every god. I didn't like doing it once, but I do need to figure out who did this. And you can either help or get in the way. And I really would love if you just helped me. You understand?
When he tries to answer, his true form is revealed as his mouth opens to talk. Instead, it falls agape, a black void inside where you see a ton of people typing away. All of the many of them chained to desks where they just type and type and type and type away in this dark corner of what is feeding the screenwriter. He lifts his chin back to his mouth. I'm not trying to get in your way. I'm just trying to make this work. And unfortunately, I don't think it's gonna work the way you want it to. What the screenwriter, what the showrunner says goes. You deviated, so we gotta write you back on track.
I think I'm going to write my own story. Now, can I leave this room or will this have to be violent? I'm asking you.
I mean, you leaving this room before this conversation is over would be, illogical. Why would a character do that? Why would they leave when they have the writer in front of them? That doesn't make sense. Let's instead come to a conclusion about where your story is going to go before you leave. I think the old man's suggestion is solid, but could be you. Could be you that killed everyone. You killed comedy. You killed PR. I mean, that makes you the villain, but the villain is still a main character. Who doesn't love that?
Maybe the villain's the person who's been writing everyone's stories the entire time. Well, a little bit of creative freedom goes a long way. I've been, I don't know, blessed with a little bit of an understanding about art.
Art?
Yes. Finding a little bit of guidance here and there.
No.
Yes.
You don't, the art is gone. Art is banned from the building. You haven't.
I think I draw that like fountain pen and just spin it between my fingers.
That is contraband. You cannot bring that into this building.
I think this is a good story now.
You should not have that here. And I can pretend I didn't see it. You better watch out. That's not allowed in here.
We'll see. We'll see what your boss says about it too.
Okay. Can't compromise with me, so you'll go above my head. That's fine. That's fine. The showrunner won't deal with this. And you come in there carrying something of art's. I mean, you might as well announce your arrival and your surrender at the same time.
Underdog story. And I throw one more knife, like once again at them, just to get them to stop talking, and I leave.
I would like. Do you feel like this is inflicting violence, or is it impulsive?
I think this is a little. I think this one is more inflicting violence. The last one's definitely impulsive. This one is annoyance and frustration.
Add one for it's personal, but they don't seem to be creating a desperate situation or anything. So just the one.
Okay, it's a 9.
It's a 9.
I'm afraid of overkills. Yes, it's a 9.
What is the ideal outcome of you throwing that knife?
I think it is. I think it is the signifier of we are not going to talk anymore. I am ending the fight on my terms, which is I'm walking out of here with the, I think, the clarity of purpose here that I have one job to do. I think it is like at the shoulder,
Mm.
um, which I know they don't write like literally, but I think that's the idea of throwing it at the shoulder to hamper their ability to write.
When you hit them in the shoulder, they knock back. He gasps, but also behind him on the corkboard, one thread that says, writer convinces the courier to take the lead, and a thread that points to another card on the other side that says, the courier becomes the hero, uh, which is tied to several other cards. That string just sort of falls limp behind them. And they just gasp and let you walk out.
Right. And I think I make my way up a few more flights to the showrunner.
All right. The boardroom is on the top floor of this pristine building. The cartoonish nature of this floor cannot be understated. It is chrome, shiny, reflective in all of its surfaces. There are big, giant, whirring fans for some reason that just spin in a slow pattern that is very clearly not doing anything to circulate the air. It is almost just a hypnotic space full of a perfect air temperature, a perfect clean series of walls, a pristine clean dry carpet, and these perfectly whirring fans. The boardroom lays ahead of you. There is not anyone else in the way, as it seems, but you can see the figures, the bodies in the boardroom behind that sort of stone sea glass, distorted glass wall that separates you from them. You can see their shadows kind of moving within, and the showrunner, obviously, at the front.
I think there is sort of that, once again, that deliberate pace that is being kept by the courier as they walk. They sort of knock on the door of the boardroom.
There is a few moments of a murmur and then silence as you knock. Come in, courier.
I think I step in.
Their office chairs swivel as they turn to you, the investors and the showrunner. Her with her bobbed cut blonde hair, thin eyebrows, and piercing blue eyes. We have been expecting you. Please, have a seat, courier.
I'll stand.
Ah, of course. Um, have you met the investors? A series of men in suits, all slightly different in appearance. Only slightly.
I know of them.
Well, this is the story that they wanted. We were happy to let you remain a side character for a while, but it's clear that the universe wants more from you. Why don't you demonstrate? Do that thing with the wind. Let's see. Would you like to?
I think there's like in sort of yeah, I'm gonna do as you're told, actually. I'm gonna let this one cook.
Okay. What happens?
I think it is enough wind. I think I just channeled the wind through my fingers again. And I think the thing, uh, I think the what vulnerability do I reveal is the question, which I think I do reveal this un clearly this frustration that this is happening.
Hmm.
I think there's like a shortness you can see in the way that they do this quick little gesture.
Hmm. See? What I tell you? Incredible, right? It's just that we've always wanted for the courier to be a bigger player in the story, and you know, we understand that they didn't want that. We tried for years to let them just sit in the shadows, but can you see? Also, well, we needed to get rid of comedy. She was ruining everything. Everything.
So who did it?
Who didn't do it? Dear. We are gods. We write it, and it happens. We wrote it. We just haven't written that part yet. Who did it is the reveal.
I mean, sounds to me pretty frank that it's you.
Well, I mean, the idea was mine, and I am proud of this one. It does resolve a lot of our problems. Satire has become so tricky. They say things as though it's comedy, but then they are just critiquing us. And
Can't
that
handle a
can't
little
happen.
criticism?
No, it's not that we can't handle it, it's that we won't accept it. It's incorrect. They should not be critiquing us. We have everyone's best interest in heart.
I don't think you do. I think you have your interest at heart and you just tell everyone they're happy with it.
See, this is why we need PR. I'm not great at the pitching.
I mean, PR was pretty good at talking,
Yeah,
but here we are.
here we are. And look, you and the whiteboard in the room that we saw at the start of our episode flicks into a screen again. We see that first image of you approaching the body of comedy. This should have been so much easier. You take the fall, you have a villain's quest. But no, You were not accepting of that, and I get it. So we try to offer you another way that you are the hero again, so resilient. Then what if the old man is the villain all along? A great twist that came up from the screenwriter's room. One of the few good ideas they've had lately. And you
Well,
reject that too.
I have an idea. What about the story of someone who reveals the nature of the world? A bit esoteric, but I think it's a good story. I don't think it's one that's been heard before.
There's a reason for that. You'd put us all out of business, dear.
What comedies like to do. Laugh about the absurdity of all of it.
I'm afraid comedy's gone.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. But what if just for a second, everyone just knew how pointless it all was? And I would like to perform a miracle if I can.
What miracle are you performing?
I think at the cost of PR, if I could make this entire conversation just heard all over the cradle. The power of like knowledge in PR and the way of the spin, and just making sure everyone has heard this entire conversation so they know how the gods truly feel and act and talk about all of us.
The whiteboard that was just displaying a video of your previous actions flickers again, shimmers, and shakes. And then, almost like you're looking at the image of your own Skype call, you see the boardroom in front of you reflected in real time with a little live blinking in the corner. We are just trying, as she does not seem to notice as the whiteboard is behind her quite yet. We are trying to make this a good story with your best interests at heart.
You have never cared about my best interest. I asked for peace and you couldn't give me that. You try to make me the villain in the story. You try to make me the hero at the cost of a random old man. You only care about what you think is interesting.
Well, yes, we are still trying to make a story here. It's it's for the audience that we serve and for the investors. The,
What about the lives of the people you just cast aside as you make these stories?
your characters, your just chess pieces. It's just our job to create a narrative around that.
I think there is a look of absolute fury just radiating from the couriers. They don't say anything. You know, I kind of wish comedy was still here, still around.
Why? So that this could somehow be funny to you, so that you could be comforted
No,
by
no.
everything.
I think she'd think what's happening right now is really funny.
Hmm.
Yeah. I I mean, I'd say look behind you. It's not really a good joke, but it's one you might notice. I won't do anything. Turn around. Look at your whiteboard.
And they slowly step around and see. There is a gasp, a, a kind of stunned moment, and they instinctually reach out a hand and lift and PR.
You can thank them for that. At least their power.
Hi. We are showcasing some behind the scenes footage for you. Of course, as we deliberate on this, we ask for your patience. And they click the screen off, turning angrily to you. Do you have any idea how hard it will be to rewrite this? You have ruined everything, and you will pay for it.
I think there's almost this smirk that like you can't even see the courier's face, but you can see the way their eyes like wrinkle, like the wrinkle around their eyes with this almost excitement. Then maybe we should just finish this story. You and me. I mean, Art's here too. Just like you have your investors. I have a little friend.
No, she's not. She can't come in this building.
Swirls the pen once again.
Fine, you have her trinket. That's fine. She's not here. She's not allowed. Investors, please excuse us. We have business to attend to. The investors sort of simultaneously scoot their chairs out, sit up all in unison, and walk out single file unless you want to stop them in any way.
I think I'm okay with the investors walking out. I mean, like they'll be facing the crowd and people outside if they leave this building.
Mm-hmm.
I'm okay with that.
Okay. So they leave. The door shuts behind the final one as they leave in unison, leaving you and the showrunner. The showrunner now consolidates the whiteboard, the chalkboard, the desk, the chairs. It all starts to coalesce into one big screen behind them, replaying moments of your life rapidly and fast forward to the scene of your hawk delivering packages without you right now. A live feed. You're gonna want to do what we want you to do.
What you have me do?
We want you to be the hero or the villain. It's your choice. It's just gonna be our way. We need to sell the spin of how comedy died. Either you killed her or the old man did. It doesn't matter. That neither is true. We just need the story. So you pick. Or don't. And she glances back at the screen.
I really like taking a third option. I think finding out there's been a whole conspiracy and that you've been the one pulling the strings, not letting anyone have their words, their thoughts, their actions without you having a say is a good story. I'll give you that. And I think the person who thrust it out of it, forced to find answers they didn't want to know, and forced to kill the very gods in order to get that truth, that's a hell of a story. So I think I'm a hero to some. I think I'm a villain to you, absolutely. I think I'm getting sick of this story. And I'm going to enact violence.
Okay. How do you do it?
I think just almost like just letting the wind push through this building. Like, are there windows here?
There are. This is a very windowed boardroom.
I think like the windows just begin to rattle and shake and like break. And I think having that like glass fly at the showrunner is the intent.
Please add they do wish you harm. It is personal. So add two.
Okay. So it's a 10. It's a 10, it's an
Okay.
overkill.
Okay. Okay. The wind starts to blow through the building somehow. Slow at first as you start your speech. By the end, though, a gust hits the building. Glass shatters as all of the windows break. The wind coursing through knocks over the whiteboard behind it, and the showrunner grabs the table to brace themselves, losing their grip and then falling back against the wall, their body just crashing into it. They're stuck there, pinned by the blowing wind that affects everything in this room except you. How?
Like I said, I'm writing the story now. I'm freeing everyone to enjoy their own stories.
No, you can't. You can't. There's doubt in their voice.
Why not? I mean, I'm certain everyone's story is interesting, at least a little bit. Everyone has some sort of story. Just let them play out.
We decide, not you. And they reach a hand out to the whiteboard behind them, grabbing a marker cap open, and they start to reach and try as hard as they can to scribble a new truth onto the board, fighting the wind.
I want to stop that. I think I don't know if I can kill them yet, but I'm definitely want to, I think, try to stop them.
You can. So you still have Silver Tongue as a power. You could try to
I
convince
I
them.
gave up my power to use that miracle.
You did. You
I
did.
completely wiped having a
That
power.
is. So you could. You know what I would suggest? With the windows blown out, with your power amplifying everything in this room, the people on the street can hear. what is happening now. You could challenge them in front of an audience.
I think I will.
Okay.
I think, and I think I sit on the board table, almost taunting them a little bit.
Mm.
I think if you truly are dedicated to a story as much as you are, I think every good story deserves a climactic finale. You versus me, the whole world can hear us. The winds blowing, my divinity can be felt versus you, the god who runs the whole show. Wouldn't you agree that's a solid finale?
And like they try and struggle to keep the marker moving, and it starts to etch the career. Sure, yeah. Tell me what your ending would be.
I mean, I'm giving you a fair chance to fight me directly, not with your little marker. I think the audience would appreciate something far more climactic than I just keel over like you did with comedy.
And they continue to write attacks the writer. I will win.
I think I stand up now, and I think I have that same knife I used for PR. I think as it stabbed PR, it became a bit more silver tipped. I don't think you will, or at least not in the way that you get to see your own ending. More stories will be told. You're just not the one writing them.
And like their writing starts to become more forced as they try to etch. And the writer throws their arm is so fatigued that it begins to shake as they continue to try writing against the wind that is forcing them against the wall. Would you
This is
like?
for comedy. And I think I am going to try to kill the screen or the showrunner.
Roll your 2d6. Add. They do care about your opinion. They do think that they are stronger than you. And the crowd on the ground is on your side. You can add all three.
Okay, that's an 8. So yeah, the target would rise to my bait, which I think was trying to fight me directly.
They try as they're writing into existence that they get to throw you out the window. Their marker drops from their hand before they're able to finish that manifest. It falls to the ground and they. Fine. Fine. This isn't my strong suit. But hey, the crowd loves an underdog. And they go ahead to go one on one to you, lunging at you as you rest against the table.
Okay. I think I'm going to inflict violence or incite violence again.
They definitely wish you harm, and it's personal.
Okay, that is a 7. I think almost with more every time this keeps happening, I think the courier's getting a little bit better at using their wind. As I think as they went from like standing, they almost send a gust of wind under their feet to completely jump over the showrunner and deliver a kick to their back.
And they sort of fling over the boardroom table that was previously stocked with investors moments ago. They just roll over it as they lunge at you and get kicked across of it. They are being humbled deeply. And the look that they give you when they now look up at you, the windows broken and cracked behind them, the wind coming in behind them to aid you. The look on their face tells you how much they hate being humbled. They
You
start
upset?
they start to walk towards you again. You You can. You can die. And I can kill you. And I can always write my way out of it. And they grab at you. Would you like to react in some way?
Yeah. I think at being grabbed, I don't think I have a knife on me. I think I'm going to try to overpower them, but I do have my pen. And I think the initial reaction is going to try to jab them with the fountain pen of art.
Perfect. If you're inflicting violence, or are you going to try to kill a god?
I'm going to try to kill a god.
Roll 2d6.
8. I lose something, but that's fine.
Tell me what you think, but I think it's the pen.
Yeah. I think this pen had given me a sense of guidance and purpose, and I think it gets lost.
When you stab them with this pen, the ink from it writes all of the stories that could have been all over her skin and into the carpet, up the walls, around, across the ceiling. The words of all of the stories that should have, could have, were interfered with by the investors, the gods, the screenwriters, the showrunner. All of them, all of the potential, all of the possibilities encase the room in ink, and the pen sinks into them. There's a moment before the light leaves them, a look of disbelief. You have an opportunity to say one last thing to them if you would like.
Think sort of look them in the eyes, and it's not a look of satisfaction. I think it's just a abject look of honesty. So they say, "Don't worry, more stories will be written."
By who? And they sink into the ink that overstates their face, their features, their everything, until it's just a pile of words spilled onto the carpet. The boardroom is quiet now. The pen is gone. And for a few moments of quiet, a remarkable sound from the street below, as just some laughter grows from the crowd on the street.
Think from the broken window, the courier sits and like looks out at people. And I think they give a meek like look for a second. I think they whistle to see if their bird arrives.
Yes, your hawk does eventually screech across the sky, coasting down towards the window, landing comfortably beside you.
And I think you see the courier leave this boardroom, but I think as you see them walking out, you see them removing some of their layers. I think the cloak, the mask, the hood, a lot of the extraneous things they've been wearing to hide who they've been. And I think it's like as you see them like leave the office, the cloak's gone. As you see them enter the elevator, by the time they get out, the mask is off. You see all of these layers gone as they leave this building. They pass the receptionist. I don't know if you still have a job, but sorry.
I don't know what you mean, but bye now.
And they step out, I think, in front of the crowd. And I think for the first time you can see them. Their skin, like I said, still like uh, deep brown. Their hair sort of in a like braids, pulled back into a bun. Their eyes still that like striking purple, covered in tattoos. I think still wearing bright clothing, but the first time you see their arms and their face, and they almost crack a somewhat toothy smile. Um, hi, everyone. Sorry, but also I think I've given everyone a chance to do what they want.
What do you want? A young woman sort of steps forward, early teens.
You know, it's kind of funny. But I think for the first time in my life, I'm actually going to think about that. But I don't know if I can keep currying. I think that's, I think it's a little too simple for what I've done.
Thank you.
No,
A kind of murmur falls over the crowd. They start to clap. And the girl, that young girl, puts a hand up and shushes the claps. You let us know how we can tell your story.
well, someone named Mia a long time ago wanted a life of peace. So they left where they were from with nothing more than their hawk, and they became known as the courier. And for a long time, they thought that would be enough. And then, the funniest little thing happened.
She looks surprised to laugh at that, clutches at her chest. Others do the same, chuckling and then surprised as you feel a familiar hand on your shoulder and a slight chuckle in your chest. Your story is yours again. And that is fucking GODKILLER. Connie is a genius, the wrinkliest brain I've ever seen in my life. Please get this game. This is only like the first edition of this game. There is going to be a more somehow stronger version released at some point. But go buy GODKILLER First Blood. We'll get in on the ground floor of this absolute delight. Dare, my absolute love light. I was so nervous about this. You are such a comfort and such a it's been so long since we played together. I forgot how easy you make it to improv together, and I am just delighted. Thank you so much for that. Can you please share with us? Also, thank you, Raiders. Hello. Tell everybody how amazing you are. How radiant.
You're too kind, but also hi everyone. I'm Dare, she, they, Faye. I am a Annie Award nominated trans writer, performer, editor. I do a lot. I wear a lot of hats in the tabletop space. But thank you all for this. This was very fun. If you like what I do, you can go to Dare to Dream RPG. That is DARE, the number 2, DREAM RPG. Pretty much anywhere. If you look it up, it's going to be me. But in particular, go to itch.io and you get to see a lot of the fun, weird little games I've made. My personal baby, When the Sun Dies, which is the saddest, most beautiful thing I've ever made. But also, I've made some games recently, one about whirlwind romances that I really like, called Friends to Lovers. And then just a bunch of other stuff I've written. Some of it very funny. YouTube apology videos have been
YouTube apology
weirdly,
video has become very topical recently.
and I've made an entire game about digital apologies and making apology videos at the beginning of the year. So please check out any of the weird little projects I've made. Thank you so much.
Please do. I've linked Dare's Itch page where you can find all of her games. But also follow Dare on social media as well. Same name as Fair Itch name. You'll find them everywhere, and just enrich your life by following this wonderful human being. I am Dylan. This is my channel. If you are joining us from the raid and you haven't been here, you did unfortunately come in at the end of an RPG story, but I really loved it. I think you should go back and check it out. If not today, I will be putting the VOD up on YouTube tomorrow, so then you can have that to reference. I am an actual play performer and a game designer. I am most known for my work on the Atom List, where I am a principal character. It is a sci-fi RPG about a bunch of broken people on a broken spaceship traveling through a broken universe, trying and failing to do the right thing. I think that if you listen to it, you will love it. And I write RPGs. My most recent one is also a 2-player RPG called How Does That Work? You're a Bicycle. And the premise of that game is that one GM, the author of a story, and one protagonist, and one player, the protagonist of the story, get to argue over the fate of the protagonist in the story as it's being written. It's very intimate. It's very simple, and it is a 3-act format game. I hope you check it out. Anyway, we're going to send a raid over to my lovely friend, Sweet Tea Games. If you don't know Sweet Tea, fix yourself. You're about to. Sweet Tea just started streaming. They're going to be playing Legends of Zelda. Um, he is a wonderful, amazing human being, and we will see you later. Dare, thank you so much for joining me. You are a pleasure, a delight,
Thank you
as
all for having me.
always. And we will see you next time. Bye bye.